guys, welcome to Dreams Travel. In my previous video, I went to London, right? I took a train to Brussels. I originally wanted to go to Bruges, but there was no direct train from London to Bruges. You had to go to the capital of Belgium, which was Brussels. So I decided to stay in Brussels. I was really in Belgium for 2 days. Half a day in Brussels and a full day in Bruges.
After settling into my hostel, I headed to Grand Place, which is the central square of the city of Brussels. And the oldest references date back to the 12th century. This once was a booming trading place until 1695, when the French bombed and badly destroyed Grand Place. The Grand Place is symbolic of power and pride of Brussels because they were able to restore the look of the former buildings than to do a contemporary style, which everyone else was doing at the time. The Gothic and Baroque architecture shows us the level of social and cultural life that once was a political and commercial center. The Grand Place is known for its decorative and aesthetic wealth, heightened with gold, that's surrounded by guild houses, the City Hall, and the Maison du Roi, which translates to the King's House, which is actually just the Museum of Brussels. Unchanged since the 18th century, this plaza has no place of worship, which is very rare for Europe. This goes to show that God doesn't want to be involved in commercialism.
The original reason I told myself, Kalia, you're gonna go to Belgium for August because they always have this floral carpet that looks insane. This entire carpet that fills the whole Grand Palace is made of real flowers. But there was no floral carpet because Corona took them. Corona took everything. What I loved so much about Belgium is that it's right in between France and Germany. So they speak French and German. You'll see a lot of streets with French names or, fromage, they'll call cheese, but then they'll say danke, thank you in German. So it's like French and German put together. They were speaking Fremen or I love France and I love Germany. So it's like Belgium was like those two put together.
Dutch is also spoken here because Belgium gained its independence from the Netherlands in 1830.
Then the next day, I went and grabbed a vegan and gluten-free waffle at VeganWaf. That waffle was the best thing of my life. It was so delicious. If you go to Europe, go to Bruges. I took an hour train to Bruges from Brussels and I fell in love. I fell in love with Bruges. It was the most beautiful town I've ever seen, honestly. It's so small, the houses are so close together, everyone's riding bikes. You can smell the chocolate, the waffles, the beer in the air. There's a certain smell. It's so magnificent. Everyone there is just so relaxed, colorful little buildings and houses.
Now let's learn some history about Bruges. In the 9th century, Bruges was founded by Vikings. And in the 14th century, Bruges reached commercial heights. Although, due to political struggles, there was a drastic decline in their economy, and from the 16th century until the 20th century, this city was like a ghost town, very far from thriving. In 1907, a port and canal were built, which revived trade and brought tourism. So for 400 years, this was an untouched town, and I think this is why now people flock to its authenticity.
I took a 30-minute boat ride because I got to see the whole town from a boat. And my tour guide was really cute. I was like, let me get your digits.
They go around 300,000 euros to give you an idea of the real estate price in Europe.
I climbed 366 steps of the Belfry Tower, which its foundation was built in the 13th century. This tower has 47 bells. Now, the bells were so important in the Middle Ages. The bells were a means of communication. In the morning, there would be the work bell, which meant you started working, right? At noon, there was a bell called the pap clock, which signaled lunch, and in the evening there was a bell to signal that the city walls would close. The citizens used the bells to figure out what they need to be doing, you know, because there was no clocks back then, which is insane. Like, they couldn't check the time and say, oh, well, it's lunchtime. No, like, they had no idea, so they would just be listening for these bells, which I thought was really, really cool. And I was able to climb to the top of the Belfry Tower and see incredible views of Bruges and really how beautiful this town was. Seeing Bruges from eye level is already gorgeous, and seeing it from such a height, like a bird's eye view, was so beautiful. I really, really, really enjoyed my time in Bruges, and I cannot wait to go back. It's such a small, romantic, cute town, so much history, and it's just so beautiful. So definitely go to Bruges, okay? Promise me, promise me, promise me, promise me. God, when I was going to Belgium from London, I knew that my train station was an hour away from my hostel, right? So I was like, oh, I'm Gucci, whatever. I ordered an Uber because I had 2 bags and stuff. I didn't want to go on the metro. I had 2 options. I could go on the metro or I could get an Uber. So of course I got an Uber. I was, you know, on a time crunch. I had to get my train to Belgium. My first Uber canceled after 20 minutes of me waiting for him. Then my second Uber came. I was calling the company, asking them, are you sure this person's coming? Because I need to catch a train. The guy came. He was an African man. He was super, super sweet. We talked a lot. The time was cutting so short. On the train station, they say, make sure you come 45 minutes before, because you have to go through security. It's like an airport, basically. We're in the car. Literally, the traffic is so bad. They say it's gonna take like an hour just in traffic, and my train is in 30 minutes.
I am freaking out.
My Uber driver basically drops me off at a metro stop because that would be faster to get to the train station, which just defeated the purpose because I should have just gotten on the metro from the beginning. And I had to run. I had my backpack and my carry-on. I was just hauling ass, like running like crazy. So I got on the metro, and then I went to the train station, and I got there running, and I was in line, and my train was literally in like 10 minutes. And this lady comes to me, she was like, your train? You should have been here 45 minutes before. Why weren't you here? I was like, the traffic was so bad. And she was like, okay, you can cut the line and go to that guy over there. And he was giving me a hard time. He was like, why were you late? That's not an excuse. Traffic isn't an excuse. And he was laughing, and I was like laughing but crying at the same time. And they put me through security. They put me through like a fast track, like super fast. They got me in there. I literally, when I got to the platform, my train was there. I went in, sat down, and my train left. I was so close to not going to Belgium, and I wanted to get the hell out of London. So I almost missed my train to Belgium. I arrive in Belgium, and yike doodle do, okay? When I get out of this train station, there are so many crackheads, people looking at me like they want to rob me. I was scared. My dumbass Uber driver that was gonna take me to my hostel, I missed him twice. He was driving around. I was like, I'm about to get robbed. Find me. I got in the Uber. I got to my hostel. My hostel was, oof, don't stay there. It's called Safestay Hostel. I did not feel safe there. It was raggedy. It was crusty. It was rusty. It was dusty. So definitely go to Bruges. Bruges is so beautiful. Just go to Bruges. I love Belgium. I would honestly travel all around Belgium. Also, I heard Ghent is really nice. I didn't go there. Then have a Belgian waffle, please. Their chocolate, their beer, their waffles, potatoes. I mean, all the food, French food, German food, go off. Just eat your heart out in Belgium. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give this video a like and subscribe because you love me and I love you. Okay, bye. Belgium, Brussels, Bruges, all these B's, I can't.